by and by. Alan Vinekum, aka Armchair Detective, as he likes to be known. This man who's sat at home in his undies for over 3 years now, trying to ruin other people's lives, tormenting the Rzucek family, a family that lost half of their family in a tragic, horrific murder case, the Chris Watts case, although I don't like to call it that because he shouldn't be mentioned. It's the case about Shanann, Cece, Bella and Nico, the people who were really important in this story. Alan now is at the end of his time on YouTube, as he's known it, I believe, in my opinion, Alan. And as is true to Alan, he can't quite grasp that. Now, I always thought that Alan was mentally ill, but I've realised now in time that he's not only mentally ill, but he's also an odious, despicable human being. And I say human being in its loosest term. Even now, the Rzucek family are finally getting enough funds and have sought legal advice so they can come over and start to prosecute Alan and start to speak out about what's been happening on YouTube to them and many others, I'm sure. Now, I also hope that the Rzucek family are going to the press and media outlets and just showing the world what Alan has been doing for the last 3 years. But still, Alan can't quite comprehend it. So he's doing what a person who's rejected or in trouble tends to do, who can't quite understand it and can't quite understand why he can't manipulate the situation. Alan Vinekum has manipulated his way through his life. Nothing is ever his fault. He's not culpable for anything. So, I grew marijuana in my restaurant, but it's not my fault. Somebody else did it. I didn't keep the books for my business. Well, but it's not my fault because, I've got blood pressure and, I've got anxiety and it's not my fault, it's their fault. They did it, supposed to look after the books. You were caught doing this, that and the other, but it's never his fault. Never his fault. And again, the same thing is happening here. This is a person who was abused, harassed, ridiculed, sneered at, made untruths about, given misinformation about, accused people of murder, accused the FBI, the CBI of being corrupt, called the DA dork, Tammy, a detective, old Tammy. He's made the case into a ridiculous cartoon for years, and at the same time has creamed in pound after pound after pound of subs money, but yet still cannot accept what he's done. But the thing is, though, that the way he's dealing with the fact that now his back is against the wall, he is going to court. And I hope that the funds for the Rzuceks keep going up and up and up, because Alan, even now, he's that stupid that he's publicly put on YouTube now, as he was trying to bargain with the Rzuceks, right, which is very textbook behaviour, right, the bargaining. If you do this, I'll do this, and you can't do this because I'll do this, and I urge you to do this. So Alan suddenly came forwards, and you can see that every night he's either talking to himself or his right-hand women, Bubbles and Chicken Lady. Yeah, I can't wait until those characters are read out in court. Yeah, and I've sought advice from Chicken Lady. I can imagine the judge is going to sit there going, yeah, person who's called himself Chicken Lady. Bubbles. Yes, they're really going to have to be discussed. And, now I've lost my train of thought. He goes back to his cohorts and goes, well, what tack should we use now? What should we do tomorrow instead? Instead of keeping quiet, as a lawyer would advise him to do, even though Alan says he's got an attorney. So you got no money, but you got an attorney, have you, Alan? That's crap for a start. He hasn't got any attorney. And so he has to think of another tack. So this bargaining one came out of the bag. All right, I'll pick this one up. Right. You Rzuceks, I urge you to stop this. I urge you to stop trying to get me to court. I urge you to stop the strikes. I urge you because... And then he came out with a brilliant one. Publicly, which kind of has shot himself in the foot. Alan has said that if the Rzuceks try to take him to court, he will claim that he's got mental illness, physical illness, and he will drag it out and out and out until they run out of money so they can't do anything. So Alan has publicly said that. Now, Alan, do you think that that was a good move to say, if they take me to court, I'm going to drag it out and I'm going to make sure that it can't happen. I'm going to make up all kinds of rubbish and then make it so difficult for them that they can't do it? Because now when you go to court, the court is going to see that video, because you can't take it back what you've done, Alan. It's all going to be there. And so you kind of shot yourself in the foot there, haven't you, Alan? And what's even crazier is that in the bargaining that Alan was doing in this video to the Rzucek family, he also is harassing them at the same time. He's also threatening them at the same time. I urge you to take this off because I'm so ill, but at the same time, I am going to ruin you. I'm going to ruin you. And the threats come out at the same time as the bargaining, which just shows you Alan's mind, what sort of person this is. A pathological liar, a narcissist, an egocentric, self-centered, odious human being. And then today he comes back with something else. All right, I'll do the pity party again. I'll go back to that, see if we can get any kind of result from that. So he comes back, puts some classical music, Time to Say Goodbye. Yeah, that's class, that is, Alan. You went to Spotify and went, oh, what emotional classical music. And said he is now one man fighting up, like David and Goliath, fighting up against the machine, like the Titanic. He plucked that out of the air, and that some souls survived. But the Titanic, the unsinkable sunk, and then people survived. And he just sort of grabs things from the air. Oh, I know, because his mind, the way that he tries to manipulate, and he's a salesperson, is through stream of consciousness. So one word obviously just connects to another, and he plucks it out of the air, and then he throws that into the mix. So you get blinded by what on earth he's talking about, and in the end he can sell the product. You know, it's like offering you a jacuzzi, and then he starts talking about how your soul needs the water. But by the time you're sort of blinded by what on earth he's talking about, you've already bought one. Same thing here. He just plucks images and words out of the sky, adds them to something else because he thinks they connect in his head. And again, what's brilliant is there are so many thousands of hours of Alan Vinekum that he can delete, but they are all saved by so many other people. You can see how this person works, and the way that they work is evidently, clearly abnormal. Incredibly manipulative, incredibly nasty, pathologically. So what's brilliant is that it's a real study in this kind of person, and I'm sure someone will use it as a study. But anyway, he still can't accept it, won't accept it. So he's trying to do anything he possibly can, any tact he possibly can. He'll probably come back with the fact that he's got another illness now, that he has to go into hospital, or so-and-so has happened. He's used the death of other people. He's used, so-and-so did this at a funeral. Even when Nicole Atkinson gave him the finger, Alan used this against her, said, she's fighting cancer and all you disgusting people are bringing her into the mix while she's fighting cancer, and she should be focusing on that. That's the way that Alan's mind works. There is no low to which he won't go. There is no lack of access to anything or anyone, because everyone is beneath him, according to Alan, so nobody matters. So he can talk about Nicole Atkinson and presume he knows what's going on in her mind and speak for her, even though she said, Alan, F off. He can't understand that. And because she's so beneath him, she doesn't matter. So he can say anything about her and her life and make it up. That's what he does about anyone. No one is out of bounds to Alan, because nobody matters, nobody cares. He doesn't care about anyone. Just a couple of days ago, because he can't accept this, and because nobody matters, because he doesn't care about anyone but himself and his money, he even said the immortal line, I can use pictures of anyone, you can use pictures of anyone. This is talking about 3 children and their mother. You can do anything with people's pictures because they're dead. That's what he said, because they're dead. He can do whatever he likes. because the Rzucek family have copywritten Shanann's Facebook and closed it down so that you can't use her pictures. And they have an absolute right to do that. Alan still can't accept that either. Because Alan is the most important person in the world, right? So he can't accept it. So he then said he can do whatever he likes with their pictures because they're dead. Now, to Alan, that's not disrespectful because, the girls don't matter. He can talk about their vaginals, he can talk about swabs, he can talk about anything he likes. He can use anyone's name, he can use anyone's image, he can use even little girls and a deceased mother to try and get at someone else because they didn't matter to him. Nobody else matters to him. So it doesn't matter what he says. He doesn't feel anything. But within that, what's brilliant is that Alan is constantly shooting himself in the foot. So with the, I'm going to make sure that I span it out and I'm going to do this if they take me to court. I'm going to ruin them. I'm going to make out that I'm ill and I'm going to make them run out of money so they can't do anything. He also was going on about how everyone's ruined his business. Now, bear in mind that Alan is not allowed to have a business because he already fiddled all of that and messed that up. So he's not allowed to have a business. So he's also said that this is his business, which means that there are transactions happening. We'd love to know what the transactions are. So before, he said it's not a business because they're donations people are giving him as gifts. Now he said it is a business. So in stating that the Rzucek family have ruined his business, his livelihood, he's of course admitted that it's a business, which he's not allowed to own, and also admitted that there's monetary exchange in a business. But Alan's so stupid and doesn't care about anything that he slips up like this all the time. The Tammy phone call. He even after he's in trouble, he thinks it's okay to put a private conversation by a detective on YouTube, private telephone conversation. Alan, he's so blinded by trying to be right, blinded by his own ego, blinded by money, thinking that he can get more viewers, that it doesn't matter to him. He can put up a private conversation, he can show it up on YouTube where the world can see it. But this is someone very, very high up in the law. And Alan still doesn't get it. He still doesn't get that she's seen that. She's aware of it, but all Alan cares about is getting famous or notoriety. And to him, it's the same thing. Even if people know about him in a bad way, he would be happier than he is now. Because then Alan can make another story out of it. Well, this is what happened to me, and I'll go on this morning and I'll stay as an old man. Yeah, I was, there were gang stalking, gang mass reporting, and all this kind of stuff. He's trying to make and convolute a massive drama out of it. And the fact is, Alan Vinekum is a vile harasser and abuser who has targeted and exploited a family for over 3 years and has used this to take money from people. And now he's going to be prosecuted, and it doesn't get any more glamorous than that. But Alan has to convolute a story around it, make an epic Hollywood film about it. And what's great is that the court will realise that he's doing that, and already do. And he will get laughed away because all of that will be swept away. Because there is an issue, and it's the issue here that the Rzuceks are pushing and their legal team will push. They won't let Alan get away with any of his faff, his fluff, all the stuff he's doing. He won't be able to take a piece of classical music into court and pretend that he's crying. He won't be able to do this voiced recording and make his script. He won't be able to do it. He'll be on the spot. And that's when you will see the true person. No scripts, no one to help him. Well, he's got his legal team, obviously. And still, Alan is still saying that he will win. That he will win. It's quite extraordinary, the delusional nature of it all. And which has made me sort of switch from the fact that he's not only mentally ill, but he's evil. And Alan is also bringing up personal things about the Rzuceks. You see, he says that people went real life on him. But to Alan, him going on about the family that were murdered and their swabs, and how NK is an accessory to murder, and how she's going to get caught, and how he's supposed to swabs, and that's not real life, because they don't matter to him. He sees people like they're sort of characters on the screen. They don't matter to Alan, so therefore that's not real life to him. But yet when someone does it to him, oh, that's real life. Yeah, when someone talks about him, that's real life. No, he can do it to other people, but they can't do it to him. And again, the court will see that, because it's all there. It's all there, Alan, and that's the mistake you made. You tried to delete everything, but you can't, because too many people are on your case. Too many people were aware of what you were doing, and every single moment that you've recorded, including the private ones, are recorded. Now, you appealing to your 100,000 followers. I think you made a slip up in your last voiceover. You started talking about 10,000 and then you stopped yourself. Now, you don't have 100,000 supporters. I doubt you even have 10,000 supporters. You bought your subs, and everyone knows that. And you will have to speak to your friend Cher, Voices Behind the Wall, who I think is a very blunt person. And she said, yes, Alan bought his subs. Fact. And again, that's all there. So if you are making out that you didn't buy them, I'd suggest that you go and speak to your friends, because they have openly said on YouTube, yes, you bought your subs. You don't have 100,000 followers, Alan. You don't have any followers, because the followers that you think you do have is all based on lies and falseness. You spreading lies. You say you've done nothing wrong. Now, I can't be asked to go through every video that you've ever done. But you have done so many things wrong, so many illegal things, so many borderline things, so many threats, so many accusations. You've caused a woman, you caused Betty to move from her home. That was your fault, because you were sending people to her, your subs. Now, your subs, I would suggest that they are more or less more lonely people in the world, because they're believing whatever you tell them. And you've said before, yeah, my subs will believe anything I tell them. I could talk about anything and they still love me. You see, it's this arrogance that you forget, that's all been recorded. Are you forgetting everything you've said? Are you forgetting your threats to the Rzuceks about how you've said you will ruin them? Are you forgetting how you've admitted that you've lied? Are you forgetting everything that you've ever said? Conveniently, but you can't now, Alan. You can't, because it's all there, and finally you're going to get pulled up on it. Now, all this stuff, oh, we've done such good on our channel. We've paid for funerals, we've helped grieving mothers with their children, we've done this, and those were a few lame things, to be honest, but even those weren't true. You haven't given any money to anyone. You haven't helped anyone with anything. You didn't pay for a funeral. You weren't invited to the funeral. The timeline was completely wrong. When you state that you're there and you're picking up this report, you're not. It's a complete lie. You're using other people's footage. You haven't helped any grieving mothers. What have you done? What have you done for anyone, Alan? You've done nothing. Your channel is a scourge on YouTube, and now it's being pulled up as being so, because a precedent needs to be set now. That in the future, this cannot happen. That grieving families, people who have lost other people, there needs to be a boundary. And because, Alan, of who you are, you don't have any boundaries when it comes to other people. You think that you can say anything, do anything, insert yourself into anything, use anything about anyone against them. And you still don't understand how that is completely unacceptable and wrong and immoral, and just sociopathic, to get up onto a public platform and state, I will do this, you are this, talk about this and talk about that, and people go, what, who is this person? And his subs, Alan, your subs have just got used to it. We've all got used to it. But then when you step back, and the courts will see this, it's absolutely despicable, year after year, everything that you've done, and you still won't accept the fact of how much trouble you're in. You say you've got all this on so-and-so, all that on so-and-so. You haven't got anything, but everyone else does. We're all independent channels. The Rzuceks don't control us. They're nothing to do with us. We have just spoken up about the things that you've done. No one's lied about you. No one has attacked you. I don't even go onto your channel. I don't know any of your subs. I've merely made videos about the things that you've done. Your manipulation, your lies. The book has been ruined because of the Rzuceks. It's got nothing to do with the Rzucek family. Your book was ruined because you can't use it. You didn't write it. And it is what it is. If it's a crap book, it's a crap book. Everything that you've done turns to crap. And that's because you can't do anything in the world to contribute to anyone else. Only you. And you've used social media, you've used YouTube like a toilet. You've even disrespected social media. And that's who you are. So, Alan, I would take a good look at yourself, although I know you can't. I would have thought that your family by now would have tried to help you, but they haven't. So go ahead, go to court. You think you're right? Go ahead. I hope the Rzucek family can make it up to 50,000, 60,000. And if you choose to drag this out, the court already knows what you're trying to do. You won't be able to get away with it. So Alan, stop with the attacks, disappear. We know you've all set up a new channel to try. The great thing is that it's all recorded, it's all out there, and you cannot hide anymore. So Alan, I'll see you in court.